观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎收看《完美主义》，我是主持人守望林思韵。在好莱坞电影里面呢 ，Cowboy 西部牛仔呢，一直是一个永恒的经典主题。一直在看电影的时候呢，我就会在想啊，他们背后真正的历史，在真实世界里面的牛仔是怎么样的呢？今天呢，我们再次来到了 Ultra Museum of American West， 来了解一下 Cowboy 西部牛仔的历史。
Hi, I'm Josh Garrett Davis. I'm the Gamble Assistant Curator of Western History, Popular Culture, and Firearms here at the Autry Museum of the American West.
Hi, how are you doing
Good.
today?
How are you doing?
So excited to be here.
Good, I'm glad.
And yeah, so just a brief introduction about the Cowboy Gallery or like the other related gallery in the museum.
Yeah, so this is the Cowboy Gallery that gives kind of the history of the real cowboys.
Right.
And we have another gallery in the museum called Imagination that gets into the popular culture of Western movies and that kind of fantasy idea of the cowboy. But this is kind of the reality of what it was to be a cowboy, which was a lot harder and probably a lot less fun than it was seen to be in the movies.
So what are some of the themes to cover in this gallery in terms of like real cowboy history?
One thing is that it was a not very high-paying job to be a cowboy, and it was very hard. Long hours, lonely. You were out in the middle of nowhere for a long time. And also we like to point out that it was that the real cowboys were a lot more diverse than they might seem to be from movies.
In the movies.
Yeah, there were a lot of Mexican-American cowboys, Native American cowboys, African-American cowboys too.
I think it's important to know. So we'll just start touring the gallery. I'm really excited about it.
Okay, let's go.
So we're now at the entering section of the gallery.
Yeah, so this is here you can see the chuck wagon, which is kind of the centerpiece of this gallery, which is, a chuck wagon is where all the food was stored and prepared as you went on these long trips with no access to a store or no access to replenishing supplies. So this had to sort of give you 30 days worth of food to
30 days.
Yeah, to sort of keep the crew fed along the way. These are some brands where they would burn the cattle to sort of mark them as the property of one ranch or another ranch, so no one could steal your cattle. And there are cowgirls too, as this graphic shows us. These are some Native American cowgirls from the 20th century at a rodeo in the 20th century. So once there began to be a culture of rodeos.
Tough girls.
Yeah, they're tough girls. And here are some saddles of the original California style of saddles. This came from a Mexican-American culture called the vaquero, which is the Spanish word for cowboy. And these are a different kind of saddle as it adapted into the modern saddle that you just sat on. So this is the gallery called Western Frontiers. It's the Gamble Gallery. It's mostly the collection of one collector who donated a lot of his firearms to the museum. And this tells the story of how firearms were involved in the westward expansion of the United States in the 19th century mostly. called Western Frontiers Fact and Fiction. And this is more the fiction side. This is a firearm that Steve McQueen, the actor, used in a television show, Wanted Dead or Alive. These are gold-plated revolvers that Annie Oakley used. And you can see there's even a video of her shooting from Thomas Edison's studio. She was a famous shooter she could shoot. He's throwing up these glass balls and she's shooting them in the air. These are firearms that belong to Theodore Roosevelt, who was the American president in 1901 and after. And so these are some of his. And even though these have the fine engraving, you can tell that he actually fired them because some of the engraving has come off from the heat of when it was fired. So at the end you see that it's kind of worn off because he even though they were had that artistic engraving, he still used them. But they have his initials, TR, on them.
观完西部牛仔的展呢，我最大的感受就是，其实牛仔 cowboy 们呢，不都是像张卫那样子的一个形象，他们有不同的人种，他们呢生活呢没有那么的酷，其实呢也是经历很多艰辛的，因为大多数时间呢都是在路上。我们刚刚看到那种 truck wagon 上面的这样的车，所以呢，我觉得在真实世界里面的牛仔呢，比在电影里面呢其实要丰满的多。那如果您想了解更多的话呢，就要亲自来 The Old Train Museum of American West 的 Cowboy Gallery 来看一下了。感谢您收看本周的完美主义，我是主持人守望林思月，我们下周再见。